We ate our sandwiches, watching fat bursts of flame spit out of the rear ends of the next duo of mutant cars, and every now and then I checked my watch. 15 races later, I was tired and bored. One minute the machines were quivering with trepidation, corked up like champagne bottles at the beginning of the track, their drivers possessed by some speed-hungry spirit, focused on the quarter mile ahead of them. And then with a gunshot that was lost in the roar of their engines, they flashed across the asphalt, melting their monstrous tires, front ends almost floating up into the sky. And in 10 seconds, it was all over. So quick, it was impossible for me to get worked up over it. There wasn't enough time to build any suspense. How could anyone predict a winner or call what these drivers were doing a skill? Yet when I looked at Jack, looking at these cars zooming from start to finish line, the briefest and smallest of actions, I saw amazement. I realized that there must be so much more in those 10 seconds than I could ever have imagined. By evening, everyone else was tired too, but the last race of the day roused them out of their seats one more time. Even I gripped the hot steel of the seat beneath me and held my breath for a moment as one of the cars almost spun out of control, brushing and bouncing against the other racer halfway down the track. A white spark popped up from between them. I'm sure I wasn't the only person who imagined the crash, even if it didn't happen, and the shards of red-hot metal whizzing into the bleachers at super speeds, but the other car maintained control and crossed the finish line, while the almost perished speedster stalled mid-track. I wondered if the man would ever come out. I thought he might be too embarrassed or injured or scared. Then, 2 or 3 minutes after the winner had driven off the track, a team of men ran out to that car, and finally the driver climbed out his cockpit, dusting off his uniform, looking pissed off at the world. Like every other crash or possible crash that I witnessed, I thought of Jack's accident in 1982. I'm sure Jack always thought of the same thing too. It wasn't even on a racetrack. A car ran a red light at the intersection of River Road and St. Charles Avenue, just a few hundred feet from the river, and smashed right into his motorcycle. Hit and run at 9:55 on a Friday night. The impact threw him 20 feet onto the railroad tracks along the bottom of the levee, knocked unconscious. If it weren't for another driver who stopped and dragged him away from the tracks, the 10 o'clock train would have severed his body. The doctors only put a pin in his left leg, but the blood transfusion that was supposed to save his life gave him HIV. So every time I see an accident or even hear about an accident, I think of Jack's accident, and I wonder whatever happened to the guy that hit my brother.